Hello everyone. Today is Tuesday, the 6th of September of 2022. You can see it's 7:45. And Kitty's just right there. That's Riley, that is. And I'm in my old room today. You can see I'm still moving things around from here into the garage. It's still yet to be finally complete, but hopefully soon we'll be getting somewhere. You can see here there's these are the old phones that I had in years past. This is where all of the archive is stored. I need to repair this one because you can kind of see the screen's cracked, as well as the LCD, which basically provides the image. And this one, it just has a bad battery and doesn't really hold a charge at all. So it always has to be plugged in. So eventually I'll get to those sometime. Anyhow, I was in my old room today and I noticed that, this little shelf here, you can see I have a whole bunch of literary journals lying about, and I thought it would be kind of fun to go through them and tell you a little about them, specifically these two up here, which I will get into hopefully near the end of this, and I suppose really give you an inside look as to my early experience in trying to send out stories for publication. So, let's get to it. Okay, so he's just going to stay right there while we do this, if that's alright. Okay, so the first one we have here is fiction. This is a fairly well-known literary journal, which is, I suppose, internationally recognized all over the place. I got this for free when I was working. That's all right? Right, just going to sniff this here. When I was working at my mother's shop so many years ago, and I was going to read some stories in here. You can see the list of authors on the back of it, none of which I recognize, to be honest with you. But I believe they're still in operation. And I was, at one point, I was going to send a story to them, but I didn't necessarily type up that particular piece. For whatever reason. I'll get into that in hopefully another video. I'm a devilishly slow typist, and I'm not really all that productive at all in that department, so, which is indeed kind of unfortunate. I may need to get someone else to type for me. Don't know how that's going to go, but there's fiction there. I haven't read anything out of this. I don't know if it's any good or not. I presume yes. Maybe. Perhaps not this particular edition, because I don't recognize any of these authors at all. But yeah, there's fiction there. Okay, and so the next one here we have is Glimmer Train. This here is, I forgot to mention, this issue of fiction was from, this is issue number 55, and it was from which year? I forget. The year 2009. And Next one here is Glimmer Train stories. Very similar binding to what's it called, fiction. This particular magazine is actually defunct now, and I was so close to sending a story off to them, but then I suppose the train pulled into the station in around 2019, and there were some people who were published in here, William Trevor in particular, who I've given my opinion of his work. I actually just got rid of, right, someplace around in here, there he is. I actually just got rid of all of the novels of him that I owned, and now I only just have this collection, Ireland, his short stories, which I'm yet to read. I'm sure they're good, but I just haven't had the time to get round to them. But anyhow, this is also a very nice little but no, this is a very nice journal. It's got some, I guess, photographs in there of some of the writers. But I think it came with a bookmark that was, I suppose, unique to the journal, which I actually have in here. Maybe I did start reading something in here. Yeah, I think I started reading that, The Rural Life by Christina Lowell Brazelton. But you can see at one point when they were around, they did, I suppose, print bookmarks, what's it called, with their editions here, and this one here is issue 71 of summer 2009. A lot of journals from 2009, or at least two of them anyhow. But you stop that, sorry. It's all right, Rye, we love you. He's really happy today. Anyhow, so that's Glimmer Train. Unfortunately, no longer in publication. Okay, next here we have the Paris Review, of which I have 4 issues. You can see there, this is, I suppose, fall of 2017, winter of 2017, and get out of the way, cat, spring of 2018. He's going to fall. Okay. So issues 222, 23, and 24. But it's interesting how I got these. So my mother's cousin, periodically, we would go over to her house and pick up some items that she would want to donate to her shop. And among these items were a bunch of books. To be honest, really none of them I really had any interest in, so none of them made their way into my library. But she gave me these, all of these copies of the Paris Review, which is obviously a venerated literary journal, which does not just publish fiction. I believe there's poems and there's personal essays and journalism, I believe, also in here. But they're very nicely bound, and you can see there's some, oh dear, that may probably have to be, that may get this video age restricted, I don't know, but you can see there's very nice pictures in there. And you can see that I do have bookmarks in here. and just different issues. What I used to do way back in the day, before I started, reading a lot, was I used to basically take journals like these, or really just any short story collection, and just pick the shortest story out of the lot, read that, and if I decided that the author was worthy of my attention, I would basically go on to the longest stories. I never tried sending anything to these people. I still might, but I'm not sure as of yet. I can't speak as to the quality of these folks, but I'm sure they're all right. So there's those. Okay, now for the reason why I decided to shoot this little video here. This here is, you can see, this is Wall. This is a, none of you may well be familiar with this because it's actually a local literary journal. This is spring of 2007, issue 7, and this one right here is volume 16 of the whole year of 2016. So I suppose as the years went on, they sort of produced less volumes for whatever reason. But these journals in particular were actually, you can see there, they were published by Saddleback College in Mission Viejo, California. The reason why I have this one is because I tried speaking about this in the past, but every time I did, somehow or other the video would be corrupted and I just couldn't finish the thing. But I had attended a a short story writing class from January to May of 2017, every Wednesday in the evenings. And basically, the professor there had mentioned this literary journal and had basically given us a sample story from this. Well, not from this particular issue, but of one past issue. To basically learn from and study and such. And he said that this magazine rather, is published, I suppose, every so often, and they are now taking submissions. And so basically what I did was I acquired one. I believe they were for free. I don't quite remember, but I acquired the most recent one at the time, which was this. And I read some of the stories in here. You can see here I have all these tabs that say F. That's because F is for fiction. And I read some of these fiction pieces. And to be honest, they were really nothing special at all. I read this one, Broken Doors. And I couldn't tell you a thing about it. There's not only fiction in here, there's also poetry and personal essays and even photography, which is interesting. But obviously it's published by a college, so the writing won't exactly be up to snuff, or at least it should be, but a community college, at least it won't be up to snuff to, I suppose, the standards of the publishing industry. You can see some of the people who contributed to this particular copy. But yeah, so I got this, and I'd already had a backlog of several very bad short stories written and it decided to send one to the magazine. I actually went there in person and inquired about it, and it actually written a whole story concerning the inquiry. Basically, I sent in my manuscript, or handed in my manuscript, and waited for a response. And I suppose I wrote the story and ended it prematurely, with myself being published. Of course, that did not happen. They rejected me. And basically, I just moved on from that. I suppose at the time, they didn't really see anything in great writing, or had any idea as to what it was. Though, to be honest, back then, it probably wasn't even that great, the writing I was doing. But, yeah, so there's this right here. And then, after the class, I'd basically not really learnt much of anything at all, except really what to avoid. And so, about 5 years or so after that, I went to the local Friends of the Library and had come across this volume here, and had recognized it as the same literary journal, except this is from 2007. And I bought it. You can see it was only 50 cents. And I haven't read anything out of it. You can see it's there's some very nice photographs in there. I suppose what I found too is that this particular edition, may seem to be a bit more well crafted than the later one. Except maybe that you can see there this here feels more like a magazine, whereas this is a legitimate publication, a book. But you can see there the what's it called? The lining is sort of off. It's not exactly straight paragraph formatting, but anyhow, I suspect that because it was about 9 years prior to this, that perhaps the writing may be a little bit better. I'm not sure, but we'll see. So yeah, that was basically a little video showing you the different literary journals that I have lying around. I do not have any copies of the New Yorker. I did read quite a bit of the New Yorker in high school, back when I was taking the class and trying to find outlets for my work. I have sent a couple stories, maybe one story to the New Yorker. Hey, snuff. I have sent one story to the New Yorker many years ago, a very bad one, and it's most likely in the slush pile and will never be read. But from what I gather, the New Yorker seems to be, well, in former days it was quite a reputable publication, but now it really seems to be a lot of bad stuff in there from horrible writers. Anyhow, so I hope you enjoy this video. Perhaps it gave you some insight as to my early experience in trying to sell stuff. I'm still working at it, though, to be honest, I haven't written a short story in, oh goodness, I don't know how long. I think the last story I wrote, I physically wrote out, was back in 2019, and the last one I revised was in 2020, which was the cicadas story that you all know. Anyhow, that is it, and Rye's just going to go ahead and lick himself clean, and we'll see you all very soon. I'm about to go to breakfast and edit this whole video together, so take care. Cheers.